remind me of a man.
What man?
Oh, the man with the power.
What power?
Oh, the power of voodoo.
Voodoo.
Oh, you do, you do.
Do what?
You remind me of a man.
What man?
Yeah, the man with the power.
What power?
Yeah, the power of voodoo.
Voodoo.
Yeah, you do, you do.
Why are you here? Why are you here? What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Why are you here? You here to see show? You here to have fun? You here to laugh? You here to learn? You're not here to learn? Yeah. But I ask you, what is the difference? Teacher, entertainer. They are the same, yes? Huh? Both of them trying to get your attention. Huh? Both of them trying to keep you awake. Both of them trying to make you laugh at bad jokes. Both of them coming at home at end of day with bad paycheck. Synonymous, yes? But teaching is difficult these days. You have to have things. Tools. You have to have PowerPoint presentations. You have to have movies. You have to have DVDs, CDs, music, folder dividers. You have to have the one thing that brings all teachers together. YouTube video clips. But when you go see a show, when you go to a play, when you go to a movie, you don't go to learn, do you? Oh, no. You go to sit in your reclinable bowl chairs. Eat your juju beans. You leave your mind at the door and you let someone else think for a while, yes? No! If you want to understand humor, you have to understand history, context. If you want to know what it is to laugh and understand comedy, you have to first know what the irony of life is. Some of you have come here tonight to have a good time. Ma'am? Okay, have your good time. But if some of you have come here tonight and you have left your mind at the door, I suggest that you pick your sorry corpse up and you go after it. Bad entertainment will leave you the same or worse than you were before. That's why I consider it my personal duty to make you question one thing about yourself and the way you view entertainment. And if I don't succeed, well, I'll consider myself a failure. Which is a hard thing to do, so I will give myself handicap points every time I make you laugh or smile. You see? I already consider myself success. Alright, let's begin. Let's start in the classics. Now, who can tell me someone who is a notable author and writer in the classical times? No, it wasn't John Wallace. Give me a name. Come on.
J.K. Rowling.
Yes, but no. Not what I'm going for. Someone a little bit older, maybe dead. Jane Austen. Good author. Not what I'm looking for.
William Shakespeare.
Who said William Shakespeare?
I did.
Alright. You picture yourself an imaginary board, and I stick a big gold star on it, okay? Clap for him. Shakespeare, the dead guy we can't get enough of, right? What was it about Shakespeare that that really gets our goat? Why was he so important? What did he do? Huh? I'm looking for an answer. Huh? He wrote plays! The thing, but let's think about this.
He played with emotions.
He played with emotions, that's good. He also did not belittle his audience. He faced his audience head on. Let's take an example, okay? As You Like It. Not a very well-known play, not read in the high schools, but a good one. A story about a woman in love with a man. Of course, the man has a little problem in the flirting department. So the woman does as every woman should. She dresses up like a man to help him in the ways of wooing. Along the way, she meets a shepherd and a snotty girl. Now, the shepherd is trying to win the love of the snotty girl. But the snotty girl won't have it. And then Rosalind walks in. A strapping young man. Uh-oh. Let's take a look at this one. And why? And why? I pray you. Who might be your mother? That you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What? Though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Must you therefore be proud and pitiless? Why, what means you? Why do you look on me so? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Oh, it's my life. I think she needs to candle my eyes too. No! Thief! Brown mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brow, your black silk hair, nor your bugle eyeballs that can tame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a proper man than she a woman. 'Tis such a fool as you that fills this whole world with ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatter her, and out of you she makes herself more proper a woman than any of her lineaments can show her. But faith, proud mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees, thanking heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Pardon and mercy, love him. Take him for his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd, and fare thee well. This is Shakespeare, right? He wrote about many things. Love, war, rioting, and every once in a while he threw in a fairy. But we've come a long way since Pumpkin Fairyland. We've moved away from the fascination of the fantastical to the worship of the tangible. Whatever is here, now, present, is comprehensible and knowable. Let's face it. We will not be Shakespeare, and there will never be another one like you. So get over it already! Oh, I heard that clap. But what do we have at our disposal now? What can we do to make us artists of a new genius? Look around you. You have yourselves, and the experiences that you've had in your life, and the ones shared by others. 4 artists have come here tonight to share in their one painful commonality. They don't need the characters, just themselves. Don't be so selfish as to think that they are here performing necessarily for you, but for themselves and for the one they lost.
I'm Ryan Lane. I'm 23 years old.
I'm Josephine Jackson. I'm 22 years old.
I'm Katie Elsesser, and I'm 21 years old.
I'm Mark Jackson, and I'm 19 years old.
My mother passed away on June 15th, 2008.
My mother passed away on June 21st, 2001.
My mother passed away September 9th, 2008.
My mother passed away September 6th, 2008.
She wasn't like anyone else. She wasn't your typical mom. When she was creative and crafty, she could do anything and make anything. She knew how to sew and cook and how to get me and my sister to clean. Something my father could never rouse us into. I remember one Easter, we received these baskets and they were filled to the brim with this fake plastic grass. The grass fell out of the baskets and completely covered the floors. For days on end, we'd be walking through the house and there'd be little pieces of faux grass stuck to the bottom of our feet and in between our toes. "Girls, can you please pick this stuff up?" she asked exhaustedly. Exercising our freedom of speech, we just giggled and said, "No!" Until one day, she got fed up with the little landmines. She said to us, "Okay, girls, I'll give you 10 cents for each piece of grass you pick up." We were off like two bats out of hell. Every piece of grass we could find. When we returned, we had a little bit of a fortune. My mom regretted the day she ever agreed to give us money for chores. These are the things that I like to remember. The moments that I think about, the times that I laugh at. When I found out she was gone, all I could think about was everything that went wrong. Every argument, fight, every horribly wretched memory that for years I've been trying to ignore. I know I can't resolve any of it. The last time I saw her was over a year ago, and it was Christmas. I could have had one more chance after that, but I didn't take it. It was Easter break, and my sister wasn't home, and I knew that I couldn't do it alone, so I thought maybe if I don't say anything, or if I didn't call her, maybe she wouldn't know. She finally called as I'm driving back to school. "Why didn't you come see me?" she asked softly. "I don't know, Mom. Was it me? Was something that I did?" The truthful answer? Yes. There were 1,000 things wrong, and I couldn't take it. I couldn't take the guilt trips and the lies and the sarcastic snaps at how good I must have it. I just wasn't strong enough to go through that again. I really don't know, Mom. Will you let me know when you do know? Yeah. Later that night, I had dinner at a friend's house. This huge Easter dinner with a bunch of loud, rowdy Italians. And I felt it stab me, this searing pain of guilt as I'm sitting there with someone else's family. His family was far from perfect, but they were together. They all sat around this huge Easter table, telling stories about each other, embarrassing ones, each outdoing the last. And then this pain, it changed. This unfathomable jealousy. And as I think about my decision to eat with this other family, I start to think of all the what ifs. What if I had a visitor? What if I had brought that little bit of hope she may have needed? What if I had been strong enough to see her? But I wasn't. And at that time, I didn't want to see her. And every time I think about something bad like this, I start to think, God, how horrible. That's not how I want to remember her. It's true. And yet, every time I think of something good, I think it's too idealistic. I mean, times weren't that easy. I mean, my mom wasn't a saint. She wasn't a monster. She was human. More so than any emotionally stunted person that I know. I don't have the answers. All I have is memories. And for now, it's enough.
When it happened, I was in denial.
I was.
I was shocked. I was horrified.
Sweet. Kind. Gentle. Love. Those are the words that I think of. What you remind me of. What you were to me. I remember you always used to tell me I could do anything. You always were my biggest fan. Even when I was horrible, you were there to cheer me on, to make me feel like a champion. No awards or medals were ever needed. I always was, and always will be, your champion. You taught me to never be ashamed of who I was, where I came from. And I appreciate that. A lot more than I ever told you. I should have told you more. I really appreciate who you knew that I could be. Even when we were poor and had no food, living out of a motel, you were there to cheer me on to do great things, you said. You always told me I was a world changer. But now you're gone. And in an instant, you left nothing but memories and an empty hole in my heart that you used to fill. I remember the day I knew that things would never be the same. Your body died. Or your soul died. Long before your body. Oh, I hated seeing you with all those tubes. You used to be so strong. It was so hard to see you so weak, so vulnerable. I wish I could tell you why I wasn't there. Why you took your last breath without me. Truth be told, I don't think I was strong enough. I've seen what not having you in my life has done to me, and I don't think I could bear to watch you leave. I regret not being there. To hold your hand when you were in pain. You must have been so scared. But I was scared too. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm still adjusting to life without you. I know it's been 8 years since you've been gone, but there's still not a day that goes by that I don't think about you. I am who I am because of you. And in losing you, I gained a new part of myself. I am who you always dreamed I would be. I knew you'd be proud. Love is everlasting, and loss is not. And you're never truly gone unless you're no longer sought. Love is everlasting, but this loss cannot be. Because I know that someday you'll be back with me.
I try to cope by pretending nothing really happened.
I tried to find answers.
I continued living as though she were still with me.
I cope by surviving.
Sometimes, I'm amazed at how much you loved us. If there ever wasn't an example of a love that was real, or a love that was pure, or a love that was constant, it was you, Mom. You sacrificed so much for us, to show us love, even when we didn't show much love back. I can't think of a moment in my life where you weren't thinking about me more than yourself. It seems like you never said no to a late night homework assignment or to a last minute Halloween run. Or I remember that one day in high school that I had a huge English test that I just wasn't ready for, and you knew it. I remember getting called to the front office during lunch right before my English test. I had no idea what was going on, but the lady at the front desk told me that my mom had called in and that I had an emergency doctor's appointment.